Hello darlings, welcome back to Miss Windsor's Delectables and welcome back to my cosy but quaint London kitchen. Now, just to let you know, one is not a professional chef or an expert cook like our dear Nigella. I am just an individual that's passionate about food, home cooked British food in fact, with a twist. Now darlings, Miss Windsor is becoming exceedingly concerned that we are becoming lazy in the kitchen and we are a couch potato society. So I want to revive that cook from scratch attitude to all of you at home that watch my show. So today I'm going to demonstrate to you how to make from scratch the perfect roast potatoes, crispy, tasty and delicious. Before we start, I must make one thing clear. Hygiene is paramount in the Miss Windsor household and should be in yours too. So run along now and go and wash your dirty little paws and I will do the same. Now remember to dry them thoroughly before you start touching the food. Now darlings, I'm going to run through what you need to make the perfect roast potatoes Miss Windsor style. Now first and foremost you need potatoes, okay? There you go, I'm just showing it to the camera there. Now these are rooster, they're oval in shape and they're a lovely colour of rouge, don't you agree with me? The roasted potato is a good all-rounder. You can mash, boil, steam, roast like we're going to do today. They're reasonable price, you can buy them at any supermarket, Lidl, Sainsbury's, Tesco, wherever you fancy really. The roasted potato in fact was bred in Carlow in Ireland and they were introduced around about 1993. Now you need a large saucepan because you're going to parboil the potatoes. Obviously a potato peeler, fish slice here, a chef's knife. You need it nice and sharp when you cut the potatoes, there you go. A good chopping board is something I indulged in a purchase the other day from John Lewis darlings, down Oxford Street of course. A little bit of plain flour. Miss Windsor uses McDougall's, which is a very traditional household name. It has been around since the 1860s and is still going strong today. Duck fat. One needs duck fat to roast their potatoes. I bought this in Sainsbury's, you can buy it in jars. It's available all year round. Now I personally like to use duck fat because it makes the crispiest and tasty roast potatoes in my opinion. But you can use other fats like olive oil, but not so good, goose fat, and yeah, it's just very flavoursome. You need salt and pepper, I'll show that to the camera there, a colander, of course, to drain your potatoes. One thing that I've already pre-done is that I have chopped some of the potatoes, which I'll show to the camera here. Okay, so they're actually soaking in water. For those of you that are on a little bit of a low carb diet, if you were to soak your peeled and chopped potatoes for a few hours before you roast them, it actually draws out all the starch and it becomes lower in carbohydrates. So just a little tip there, top tip of the day that one darlings. So I'm just going to demonstrate to you how to peel, which I'm sure you all know, but you're going to do the Miss Windsor way, how to peel your spuds and what kind of size to chop them to. And then we're going to put them in the saucepan and we're going to boil them up and then we're going to roast them. Okay, now remember, what did I say last time about kitchen roll? Diamonds are not a girl's best friend in the kitchen, darling. It's kitchen roll. And I'm going to use that to collect the peel from the potatoes. Gosh, look at that peeler glide. Isn't that lovely? It's a very smooth transaction, I've got to say. You want to make sure you take off every little tiny bit of the skin, especially those little knots that you get. They're usually quite dark in colour. There's one there, you see. So I'm going to take away that little knot. Now this size potato, if you were to peel that, see, cups in my hand, that kind of size, you don't want to chop that at all. You're just going to put that straight into the water because when you boil it, it will probably fall apart. So chop that in half. And that is the perfect size for roasting. Now, I've forgotten to say something very important, and I did this last time. You must preheat your oven. It's 180 fan, 200 degrees normal oven or gas Mark 6. One thing you need when you're roasting your potatoes, darling, a strong and robust roasting pan, just like me. Lovely, isn't it? Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to drain the potatoes. All the starch has gone from them. You won't get any froth when you're boiling. Put them into your saucepan, as demonstrated here. Now cover them with cold water. You're going to boil them from cold. Okay, don't put a boiled water over it already. Okay, that's done. Pinch of salt. So again, it helps to draw out that starch if there's any left. Cover. Now you want to boil them for approximately 6 to 7 minutes, something like that. You don't want them cooked through, you still want them to have a little bit of a bite to them. You want them to be soft enough so they fluff up around the edges and they can crisp up in the oven, but I will show you that once these are boiled, okay? Whilst your potatoes are parboiling for 6 to 7 minutes, you want to put your duck fat into your strong and robust roasting tray and put it on the top shelf in a very, very hot oven, because we need this really, really hot for the process of cooking roast potatoes. So here's my pan, alright, and duck fat, there we are. You need approximately about 1 to 2 tablespoons, and this is a tablespoon measuring cup thing I've got. I might put in a little bit more, to be quite honest, because I'm cooking a substantial amount of roast potatoes. So now you've put your fat into the pan, and the duck fat, when you take it out of the jar, it looks a little bit like that before it goes in the oven and starts to soften up. So remember, top shelf, need it as hot as possible. That pan needs to be boiling hot, and the fat as well, because you're going to make the perfect roast potatoes. Miss Windsor style, of course, darlings. How spiffing is that? So in they go. Okay, 6 to 7 minutes have passed, and now you want to test your spuds. I'm just going to insert a knife into one of the potatoes. You want to make sure they're not cooked all the way through, so the knife will just like insert about halfway through. The edges will start to look a little bit like ragged, a bit fluffed up. So I think my potatoes are ready to be drained, actually, darling. So I'm just going to turn off the hob, turn off the fan here, and I'm going to drain the potatoes, because now comes the fun bit. I bet you can't wait. Make sure they are thoroughly drained. So I'll just show this here, and the potatoes should look a little bit fluffy around the edges. And now we need to get them ready for roasting. We need them to be coated in salt and pepper. A little bit of salt and pepper for flavour. There we go. As much as you like, really, depends on your taste buds. We need to sprinkle some flour over the potatoes. Now this will give it a coating because it'll help it to crisp up in the oven. You can use semolina, gluten-free, flour, whatever you would like, really. It's your choice. So I'm just going to sprinkle some flour over the potatoes. Give it a couple of small handfuls. So it should look like that, darlings. Here comes the good bit. You're going to give these a jolly good shake. And girls, I recommend you wear a sports bra for this exercise. You'll see what I mean in a minute, okay, darlings? Right, lid on. I'm going to use, for safety reasons, I'm going to use something to hold the pan, because it is quite hot. Alright, so you need to shake them and make sure they're all coated. Okay. How fun. Let's check them. So they should look a bit like that. I'll just show you. I think a little bit more flour, because we need them a little bit more coated. So a little bit more of a jolly good shake coming up. We give it some welly. Check them again. Maybe just a little bit more flour, because the potatoes are quite large, actually. I'm going to do it again. It's very cathartic, this, isn't it? You'll see what I mean when you do it yourselves. There you go. Right, perfect. So it should look like that. Wonderful. You need to take out your pan. It will be absolutely boiling hot now. I'm going to turn on also one of the rings, because I'm going to put the pan on there, low heat, because you need it really hot. Now get your oven gloves. Remember, safety is also paramount in the Miss Windsor household, darlings. Right, be careful. It's very, very hot. So I'm going to put the potatoes in using a big spoon like this, just for safety reasons. And then I'm going to turn them all with a fish slice here, so you can evenly coat all of the potatoes. Now these are perfect. I'm really, really pleased with these. I put the bigger ones around the sides so they get more exposure to the heat, and the smaller ones in the middle because they'll cook faster. Now careful not to splash any oil when you put the potatoes in, because I have had a few moments when I've burned my fingers. Remember, this is a perfect accompaniment to any meat dish and very traditional. We used to eat these a lot at Sunday roasts, which is a big thing in England, as you all know. Okay darlings, now you're going to evenly coat the potatoes with the duck fat. With your fish slice or your spatula, whatever you call it, you want to turn each potato over so it's nicely coated in the duck fat. Remember, it's hot, so please hold something on the tray whilst you do this, like a tea towel or your oven glove or something. And I'm going to put them in the oven. You need to put them on the top shelf where the heat rises, so you need it as hot as possible. And it's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your oven, how good it is. See you in an hour's time, darlings. An hour has passed or so now, and now we unveil the perfect roast potatoes the Miss Windsor way. Okay, right, oven gloves. Okay, and that is how they should look. I'm going to use this serving dish by the Midwinter Company, founded 1910 in Burslem, England by William Robinson Midwinter. And the design, strangely enough, quite ironic, is called Oranges and Lemons, but looks more like a lime to me, to be quite honest. Classic 1950s, 1960s design, and I'm now going to place them in. Again, using the fish slice, take extra care and place them in to your beautiful serving dish. And I hope you all have one like this at home. And actually, I got this from a local charity shop in Somerset when I was visiting my mother a couple of months ago. So I like to find quirky things when I'm out and about, you know. You see, the tip of using a sprinkle of flour really does make a difference. So you've got beautiful, fluffy and crispy, perfect roast potatoes, and look at that. So when you serve them, you do it correctly, of course. And you just do that, and then you put it on someone's plate, and then they can indulge with you. So, thank you, darlings. Now you know how to make the perfect roast potatoes the Miss Windsor way. Always the best standards, of course. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Tally-ho.